Good day everybody, it's Matthew Robinson here. I wanted to take a little bit of time today just to share with you, different method though, via a whiteboard, my 14 principles of manifest action. It's an acronym, okay? Each letter represents a principle, and it's about bringing into reality the things that you dream of, okay? Sounds wishy-washy. Bear with me, it's just a case of putting things in place so that eventually, by embodying the principles, one, you enjoy life better, you experience life better, but two, you'll start to see opportunities that come your way, okay? Doors open that wouldn't normally open. Synchronicities will happen as well. So let's, without any further ado, get on with these. The M in manifest action, okay? The M, hopefully you can see that, is mindset. Now, most people in this field say that there are several mindsets. We can go on about it all day. However, I like to simplify it, like Carol Dweck does in her research, that there are two, as I said, two versions. One is the growth mindset, and the other one is the fixed mindset. We hopefully want to go for the growth mindset, which sees, as I said, everything in life as a learning experience, an opportunity to grow, and doors open rather than closed. Fixed mindset is just being stuck in your own way, being stubborn, okay, and ignoring, the things that might be opening for you, or the opportunities that are in front of you. So it's really important that we take a growth mindset into every day. Very, very important. The A is attitude. Not just any attitude though, it has to be hopefully a positive or at least a neutral baseline, not a negative attitude. A positive attitude, a positive approach to life will only lead you to better results. That effort, the ability to try, the capability to try, the mindset to try, things work out better, you at least learn from them if you have a positive attitude. And as I said, as a baseline, at least a neutral one, okay? One of non-judgment, non-expectation, okay? More compassion, etc. like that. But it's a case of take it every day with a positive attitude, or a positive mental attitude, PMA, all right? The N, very important one. Nurturing, which is a word in itself, empowering thoughts, not disempowering, okay? This will help no end, because what you think, you'll embody, you'll feel, and that you'll start to see every day as you start doing it. So nurturing, empowering thoughts. By nurturing it, that means being conscious of what you're thinking, being conscious of your filters, because that's what we do, we filter life from the outside in. And generally speaking, if we can get the inside to look how I want it to, or feel rather how I want it to, that will eventually affect the external world that we live in. Nurturing is important though, okay? Nurturing it is about you playing a big role in that. Guarding your thoughts, thinking what you want to think, or at least more of what you want to think, and hopefully back onto the first two with a positive growth mindset and a positive mental attitude, okay? So nurturing, empowering thoughts, really important. Good way of doing this is the journaling exercise, where you can start to write down consciously what you're thinking, okay, whatever's in your head, whatever's in your mind, and then you can separate yourself from those thoughts, and you can start to break the patterns. Patterns are important. Breaking them and changing them or altering them, very, very important. Can also call it reframing. But in terms of the journaling, on a Wednesday, I shared it yesterday in my Joy of Wellbeing program, the J is journaling. That's what it stands for. Journaling's a good way of doing this to nurture your thoughts. Really, really important. Okay? The I is intention. Hopefully, you live with intention. Those that live with intention, okay, will get more good out of life than bad. Okay? If it's your intention to do good over bad or evil, then you're onto a winner. Intention is important as well, rather than just kind of going into every day just kind of on autopilot. allowing anything to happen. That's how basically we have no direction. By having intention, we give ourselves direction, we give ourselves meaning, okay, we give ourselves purpose. We want things to happen a certain way without obviously controlling, which we'll get onto in a little while, but still intention is really important, okay? Intention, as they say in this field, attention, tension. And a good way of explaining that is, you have your intention, so you've got in mind what you want to happen. Take your attention to it, so draw your attention, your mind and body attention, your emotions into that intention, okay? And then the tension, hopefully a positive. So you take a positive step towards that intention and with your attention. And as they say in this field as well, energy goes where attention flows. Or should I say, energy flows where attention goes, okay? It's an important saying. So intention is key. Then we go on to the F, also very important, is the frequency. And this comes down to the different feelings that you have and the thoughts you have. Thoughts create feelings, feelings create thoughts, and there's a loop. Okay, there's a loop here. Frequency, you might have the high frequency of thought and feeling is love, joy, harmony, peace, yeah, those sort of things. Even gratitude, because gratitude is a key one. And today being Thursday, what I call throwback and thankful Thursdays, it's a nice place, nice day to, it's halfway through the week, and it's a nice time to anchor in gratitude and reflect on how you've been in the rest of the week, the gone. So Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So frequency. And of course, on a spectrum, if you've had a line, vertical, and on the top end you've got the plus, and on the bottom end you've got a minus, you want to, with intention, okay, with intention, by nurturing your empowering thoughts, by having the right attitude, by having the right mindset, you want to have your frequency in the plus, more towards the plus side. And with that, you might have, as I said, gratitude, okay, very, very important. You've got love, you've got joy, peace, etc. On the bottom side, the negative side, you've got things like fear, yeah? You've got hate, you've got shame, you've got guilt, yeah? All those kind of thoughts and feelings. And they will initially start as feelings, and then they will lead to those kind of thoughts. It starts as feelings, okay? Starts as a state in your body, and then that turns into a thought, and then the loop goes on, the loop of thought to feeling, and feeling to thought, and it just goes round in a loop. So keep that in mind, okay? Then we have emotion, and I would say here, just a sense of allowing all emotions, allowing all of them, whether it's any of these, let them process, rather than resisting them, rather than forcing them in a certain way, let them be, okay? Even if it's negative, allow yourself to feel that sadness, and eventually the sadness will dispense. Allow yourself to feel the fear, but then hopefully, after a while, you will get to more gratitude, start going to more gratitude, because you can't think, you can't think gratitude and feel at the same time. So you could basically, if you started to feel fear, allow that to be there, recognise it's there, be aware of it, but then with that awareness you can then alter it and reframe it as gratitude, and then hopefully have a positive spin on it and lead to better intentions and better outcomes as well. But emotional regulation is about sitting with your emotions, allowing them, not resisting them, not forcing them, not restricting them even, allowing the emotions to come and go as they wish. And it's emotional regulation. Good ways of doing that, of course, as you probably have heard, are things like mindfulness, meditation, yoga, qigong, any kind of energy work, anything that enables the silence within to be cultivated, and allows you to be with your emotions. Because once you've been with them, as long as you're not resisting them, as long as you're not forcing them somewhere, welcome them, with open arms, with compassion and curiosity, especially curiosity, you'll find that they turn into better feelings and better thoughts. So emotion is important. Allow yourself to feel all the range of emotions. Then we have S, which is a big one, surrender. And surrender is about letting go of control. Now we have the locus of control. I'll put here LOC, locus of control. That's about to say it's more like it now. So locus of control is the two circles. One circle being things you can control, and then the other circle being things you can't control. And it's generally a case of putting your attention more on the things you can control, and the things you can't control, let it be. Not it is what it is, let it be, and try and see a good side to it. See it through a positive filter. Again, bringing back in the mindset, the attitude, and those nurturing the empowering thoughts. Bringing those principles in will allow this to work better. Surrendering force, surrendering resistance, surrendering judgment, instead of replacing that surrender with just, as I say, letting go, being okay, being open your heart, sensing opening your heart, allow things to kind of be for a little bit, but choose to see it through a positive filter with the growth mindset, and eventually you'll see better ways of adapting to the situation, and hopefully then things will work out in a better way, or you'll just experience it in a better way rather than holding on to it. It's like sand. If you have sand in your hand, funny enough it rhymes, if you grip and hold on to it with a tight grip, the sand will release from your hands much quicker. Is if you have a looser grip, it'll slow it down. And that's the kind of thing we want to do. Loosen your grip on the outcome. Try and release expectation. So surrender is a key one. Okay, then we have T, time affluence. And that is a case of, if you bring these, can't spell influence here, affluence rather. If you bring all of these into play together, you probably will have better management of your time, and you'll probably place your intentions on time better. You'll prioritize things better. And basically all time affluence is you have more freedom, and you prioritize your time for what's more important, and hopefully you prioritize your time based on things that have meaning, have purpose, even the things that have initially well, I wouldn't say less meaning or worse meaning, but things that maybe don't feel right, with all these principles in play, hopefully you can turn it into a better meaning. And that's what great people do that are inspiring. Okay, they can turn something that is initially has no meaning and turn it into a positive meaning, just by seeing it differently through a different, as I said to you before, filter. And I'm at the moment just looking at a program that's got 7 filters in it. So it's the 7F filter program. More of that's come in a future date. So the F filters, okay? The F filter, 7F filters. Because we do filter life through a certain lens using this, whether that's a positive side or negative side, okay? But time affluence, back onto that, it's about you making more of your time. A bit like I'm doing right now, doing a video for you guys to try and teach you this. I could be doing something that means nothing to me or has no intention. But obviously I practice this daily anyway. My intention is to serve millions of people worldwide, starting with my own community, and making a big difference in the world, no matter what. So that is, okay, the manifest aspect to manifest action. We're now going to go on to the probably the more important one now, especially in this process, which is the action part. So manifest action. So we've done the manifest, MANIFEST. We've done that already. Now we're going to the action part. There we go. All right. So A, very important, really more about you now, alignment. Things will work out, good or bad, based on your actions that come from alignment. Alignment's about your values. Okay? Values is a good way of looking at it. And figure it out with curiosity, going deep within to find out, asking yourself the right questions. Okay? Who are you at your authentic, true self? Not the version that people tell you are or the world tells you are. And that is half the battle, is being who you really are at your core, okay? Without any influence from elsewhere, from the external environment. Who are you at your core? When you pull all those layers back, which people struggle to do, including me at times, the centre of the apple or centre of the onion is your authentic, true self. And that's hopefully what the goal is in general. Okay? So alignment's key. And as I said, you can work with me if you like on this to try and figure out through good questions, because I ask the right questions. That's where my four pillar model comes in. And E, the first E, is engage. I engage you in powerful Socratic type of questioning to find out, what your current patterns are, where the blockages are coming from. So values, powerful questions to get to the authentic self. Then we have another one, the C, communication or communicating with, congruence. And congruence comes down to your belief system. What do you believe in? Yeah. Are you communicating with a moral compass? What feels right to you? Even if you don't like it. And there's a saying that doing the right thing even when nobody's watching. Really, really key idea. Communicating with congruence. Communicating with being genuine, basically, being honest, that integrity. What you're feeling, are you communicating it? Or are you shying away or ignoring it or whatever it may be? Very, very important. Now, when it comes to this, I always say as well, NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, can really help with this. Look it up, dig into it a little bit, even the basics. There are, as it's World Book Day today, there are books on this, some really good ones. And if you want to get some coaching from me, where to find me, just drop me a message and we can set up a free consultation. And we can talk about how you can communicate better with congruence. Okay? There are many ways of communicating. There are good facts about it, or big facts about it. And you'll find non-verbal quite key. So it's body language as well. Then you have T, the second T, in manifest action, which is trust. This is important because it's about faith. Doing something because you believe in it. Okay? Having the faith. And even when things don't feel like they're going to work out, having the faith, keeping the faith that it will. Now, whether that's God, whether that's the divine, whether that's a higher power, whatever it may be, from a spiritual sense, which, is a good place to go, where people can develop, spiritual, having that trust that things will work out the way they should, whether you like it or not. Hopefully the way you like it to be, but trust is important. And having that faith is really, really key. Trusting in the process can also be a big one for people to understand. It will help you. If you have a process, that can help a lot with structure. As I say, process, it also has logic usually to it as well. And it's strategic, it can be systematic. Processes are important, but trust is key, okay? Have the faith. And then the I, second I in manifest action, is integrate, or integration. And this is a case of integrating everything together, all the other 30 principles. I've still got 2 more to go, obviously. But integration is about bringing it all in together. Not through balance, but bringing in things as they're needed. And people will be at different stages as well in this. You can also say integration could be integrating visualization. Because once you get down to this authentic true self, you can do it through meditation, if you can sit there for a long time and sit in the silence. Once that's happened and you just dispense the emotions and you're like just basically a neutral baseline, you can then start to visualize what you want your future to look like, different scenarios, different situations, and the more you think about it, the more clear it will become. Okay, and generally speaking, visualizing it allows the body to create it emotionally. Okay, and once you feel the emotion and you can hold that emotion for long enough every day, you'll probably start to see things happen in your outer world, which will hopefully and should do start to look like what's happening in your visualization. Because as it is said by many people in this field, that the subconscious mind, okay, you've got conscious and subconscious. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is not real. So if you can visualize every day, every night maybe when you go to sleep, and if you go to Joe Dispenza's work, Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, he talks about there are two moments when our subconscious, access to the subconscious opens up for us. That is first thing in the morning when we wake up, okay, and before we go to sleep, okay, down to the brain waves basically, and what allows you to go in to that system. But anyway, that's not what this is about today. Integration of all the principles, different layers, different times, and integrating visualization. So really, really important aspect. So I'm going to put visualization as well, because I think it will be very helpful. If it's a skill you can learn, and the more you do that, the clearer your intentions will be, and the clearer the picture will be in your mind, and then your subconscious, your body, your heart will open and will start to, you'll find, start to look like that in the outer environment. You'll start to behave like it. And as they say, it's a case of becoming it. You have to start living it, becoming, behaving like it to become it before it's happened. Or as they also say in this field, is that if you don't, lost my train of thought here. If you don't, if you do, the best way to do this, I'm losing my train of thought here, but it happens, is that if you can almost see it as done, visualize it, and you can see it as done before it happens, that's a fantastic emotion to hold, and that will hopefully it probably will draw that experience to you. So keep that in mind. On to the O. Now there are two ways of looking at this. First one is ownership. Ownership of your life, ownership of circumstances, ownership for your feelings, etc. Having ownership is absolutely extremely important. Ownership, don't blame. Over-blaming. Do not blame. It is nobody else's fault. Okay, take ownership and responsibility and accountability for yourself, but ownership. Take ownership of it. You will figure it out when you need to. It's that simple. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But taking ownership, not pointing the finger at the people and blaming people. Very, very important. Okay. Also on this one, I also mention in some of my teachings observation. Observation creates awareness. Awareness creates observation. Okay. Observation. If you can see it happening, okay, you will then hopefully be able to say, right, you know what, I'm seeing it, I can see what the problem is, maybe at this particular moment, it's me, and I need to change something. Whether it's how I react, or I behave, whatever it may be, how I respond, really, really important. And of course, in terms of this, it could also, you could come in with them responding instead of reacting. Okay, versus reacting. And that can just be a case sometimes of having the initial pause, just having that pause, and then hopefully you'll respond better rather than react through a trigger. The last N in manifest action is nurture positive energy, and this can happen more if you embody all these principles. Okay, the final one, if you integrate that in there. Generally speaking, if you follow these principles, that will naturally happen. Okay? Again, the baseline. At the very minimum, neutral. There will be times emotionally when you have to feel those negative emotions for a certain amount of time. Hopefully for a shorter period of time. But again, the key here is not to resist, not to force, okay? Not to redirect. You can reframe a little bit, but it's more a case of allowing, enabling. And eventually, you will nurture positive energy just by embodying these principles. 14 principles. Yeah, they're really helpful. You can get coaching from me, specifically on these, different stages or certain ones, if you want. There's also the program you can enroll for. Just drop me a message or a call and ask. And this is available to you, with or without me. There's a course booklet as well that works through these with practical suggestions and recommendations. Feel free to inquire. Anyway, that's all for me today. Manifest action principles, there are 14 of them. Generally, I share them on Mondays because they're a good time to implement them, and then throughout the week as you go. And yeah, hopefully that helps you. All right. So my name is Matthew Robinson from MR Coaching and Consultancy. MR is my initials. I hope this helps. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye-bye.